Good morning. I finally fixed the lighting situation, so now I'm visible. Hey everybody, in case you are tuning in for the first time, my name's Allison, and I'm here talking about a book that is now available on Amazon. I just published it. It's called The Era of the True Creator. And today we're diving into chapter 3, which is called Our Eternal Nature and the End of a Time-Based Paradigm. So this is where I start to get really excited about the book. This chapter in particular it lights my heart up to talk about because how it came to me was quite meaningful. And again, I feel that it can just be so life-changing. And I should say trajectory changing, because sometimes we get going on a specific trajectory and we can really shift everything within our lives just by having a download at some point, And so that's really what this did for me. So the name of the chapter, again, is Our Eternal Nature and the End of a Time-Based Paradigm. And the symbol for this chapter is the infinity symbol. Now, that wasn't just something that my mind came up with that said this would be a good symbol talking about time. When I went through my awakening process in 2012, I was seeing this symbol everywhere. And it was just glowing at me. And many of you have been through these experiences. Maybe it's number synchronicity or different symbols that you see that activate you on a deep level. It's as if it's rewiring and regrouping something in your mind and throughout your whole system. Well, that's really what the infinity symbol did for me. I was living near a business that was their business logo was the infinity symbol. And every time I drove past it, it would just almost knock me over with the power of that symbol. And I continuously asked, my guides or my higher self, what does this symbol mean? Why am I being activated so deeply with this symbol? And it took me about a year. I didn't receive an answer right away. But the integration of the understanding of what that symbol meant is really the basis of this chapter. Now, it says the eternal nature and the end of a time-based paradigm. And really, we could be talking about, it's kind of funny that I started this broadcast late today. We could be talking about time in terms of our human existence and, showing up on time. And do we really need to be so regulated with that? Not at all. Not at all. We could definitely stand to be more present and more in the moment. But what this is really pointing to in this chapter is letting go of the idea of our finite selves and recognizing our infinite nature. So tuning into who we are on the infinite level. And what this does is it allows us to sort of transcend the human experience and connect with our divine self, which really releases fear on a very deep level if we're able to do this continuously. It's funny that I say continuously because all it takes is a moment. So if we're able to even just for a moment tap into the eternal nature of who we are, tap into the eternal now of the moment, then we're really able to just shift so many things. I also want to bring up, I'm going to read the intro to this chapter and then I'll talk about what I was going to say. So at the beginning of each chapter, there's a little poem. So I'm going to read that. Within the toroidal loop of time, we are infinite beings having a finite experience. So that poem is meaningful to me because if you look at the infinity symbol, it's really a flattened representation of the toroidal field. And the toroidal field is the energy field that it actually makes a figure 8 if you flatten it. it kind of looks like a donut in terms of the mathematical representation of what the toroidal field is. And humans actually emanate their energy in a toroidal field, right? So our center is here in the heart, and then the toroidal field emanates around us as this sort of channeling up of energy, and then out into a circle and back up through our system and out. So it looks like we're walking around in a donut, essentially. What's really fascinating about that is when you think of the infinity symbol, and then you recognize that we are literally beings that are walking around as these toroidal fields. So we are absolutely the representation of our infinite nature. And I think that's so fascinating, because we're walking around in this toroidal field because that's what we are. And it just shows so apparently that we are infinite. We're infinite beings. Just the way that our energy channels through our body shows that we are infinite. All right, so I'm just going to read the beginning of this chapter. Again, the era of the true creator, our eternal nature, and the end of a time-based paradigm. We incarnated on earth to very literally withstand the test of time, to be surrounded by the density of physicality and the illusion of our minds, and still find a deeper knowing of who we are on an expanded cosmic level. As the higher dimensions open to us, we begin to have the visceral understanding of the eternity of each moment. We step into the realms where time does not exist, and see that it is simply an element of the mental realm, a structure that we have built our current world on, which controls many aspects of our waking life. Through our collective opening to deeper truths, the realms of time are slowly dissolving. Time has already begun to shift for many of us. It is warping and picking up speed. Things are manifesting quickly, and we are seeing results to our intentions much faster than ever before. Have you guys been experiencing that? I have. I remember almost the moment that time started to really speed up, and everything that I manifested became very, very apparent. For me, this was really a juncture that occurred in 2012 during that shift for the whole world, the shift in the, what I would call the dimensionality of the earth. The earth shifted, and so did every being on the planet with the earth. So the veil between the dimensions became thinner. Our ability to perceive became thinner. And with that shift, we also began to be able to manifest very, very instantaneously. So our thoughts became physical much more clearly and quickly. And it's a really unique, cool thing, because then we can start to really play with the energy. And because we're still living in this time-based reality, because we're still living in a human body with a mind that wants to perceive things, it can be a very magical experience to start to have things manifest so quickly and to have it show up in the physical realm so quickly for us. So I'll start again. Time has already begun to shift for many of us. It is warping and picking up speed. Things are manifesting quickly, and we are seeing results to our intentions much faster than ever before. An awareness of the illusion of time is becoming more and more common as individuals shift into higher states of consciousness and become comfortable in stillness and deep presence. So the more that we tap into the present moment, we're able to access our eternal nature. And then the next part I'm just going to read briefly and not go too much into it, but to give you an idea of what we go into in this chapter in the book. Currently on the planet, many of us are frozen in time, in that we are simply living the same moment over and over again by recreating from old patterns, instead of opening to the expansiveness of being present in the moment. Some are not moving with the tides of change and are unaware that an enormous shift is taking place. Because of this, we see that two separate scenarios are unfolding, one in which time is frozen, and in the other, many things are shifting rapidly. Of course, there is nothing wrong with this. All is perfect and just as it should be. In the era of the true Creator, however, our highest good is for each of us to know the realms of heaven. Our perceptions of time are false, and they no longer serve us. They cause false parameters that are confining. The recognition of our eternal nature is one of the most powerful ways we can shift our focus from a fear-based reality into an expansive and freeing one. So I just want to repeat that last part. The recognition of our eternal nature is one of the most powerful ways we can shift our focus from a fear-based reality into an expansive and freeing one. And I'll go ahead and stop there. Again, The Era of the True Creator. It's available on Amazon. Pick it up. I think it'll shift your life. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.